Alright team, so in this particular session, we are going to see, especially in the DevSecops. DevSecOps, meaning that not only the DevOps, including security. Especially, we have seen quite a number of hours already on the DevOps. That was exactly what we have seen. But we never seen and we never focused any time in between on the security. So we are going to focus on three tools, especially in this particular session. The tool number one is Gitleaks. The second one is OWASP dependency check, and third one is the SonarQube. So these three tools integration I'm going to show you, especially with respect to the Azure DevOps. So that is what exactly we're going to learn today. Okay. Alright. So the first and foremost thing. So first, what you need to understand as part of this particular discussion is, let's understand our DevOps model. However we are deploying so far, let's understand that one. So we know very well that, so basically I think this is a normal process. Usually always we'll play with, this is Azure report, the followed by Azure build pipeline. Yeah, Azure build pipeline. General process I'm just writing here, okay? The general process, however, we have done our deployment so far. The same thing I'm just following, okay? Azure build pipelines, okay? Pipelines. So after that, usually I think based upon the project model. So for example, if you are using some containers, I think you will use ACR. So that is your next immediate component, right? So general process I'm just writing here, okay? General process, okay? This is our ACR. ACR is the one which helps us to just store our image, right? So that is what exactly ACR is helping us. And I'm just keeping ACR on top because in this is a repository for us, where our image, Docker image is getting stored. Then followed by, usually we need a release pipeline. I'm just taking the release pipeline here. Release pipeline, instead of build, I think just replacing with the release pipeline. So once we have the release pipeline, obviously that's exactly the intention for us to deploy that particular image or package or whatever it is to our Azure environment, such as that could be a Kubernetes or that could be app service, whatever it is. I'm just taking the component here. So for example, I'm just giving the component here, which is a AKS or app service, for example, because we have seen the project already. I'm just giving a view here. All right, so fine. So this is what exactly we know very well as part of our DevOps, okay? And we have seen the advanced model as well by using Helm Jet Argo CD. I'm not going to that one in this particular discussion because that is already clear. This one I just took as a reference to just discuss a little more things on the security, okay? So now this particular image, I think whatever image, that one we pulled, especially pulled at the release pipeline, right? This is what exactly the thing is happening. So I'm just coming and connecting this particular thing. Okay, all right. Now you know what exactly the thing is happening here, team. So obviously when the developers are here, that he is the developer, just assume this guy is a developer. These guys are generally checking their code to the repositories. That's a very common thing usually they will do. But you know that the Agile methodology, whatever the methodology is running across the globe, especially as part of the technical deliveries, all are using Agile methodologies. Whenever you are using Agile methodology, obviously everyone will have such an intention like, okay, we need to deliver some working software to the production as soon as possible. Usually this is the mindset exactly the Agile methodology guys always have. The problem with that one is, when you have such a hurry to deliver or to ship your product to the production, obviously whenever you are writing your code, obviously there is a high chance to just ignore few precautions, especially on the sensitive information. So why I'm calling this one as a sensitive information? Generally, whenever the developers are checking their code, right? For example, usually I'm just going a deeper in the Azure repository, a little bit deeper. Especially whenever the developers are checking their code to the repository. So obviously the branching, if you consider the branching technique, whatever we have used, I'm just considering the same thing now. For example, this is our main branch. Okay, this is our main branch. Obviously, usually the developers are always will work on some feature branch. I'm just keeping just a simple case like this. I don't want to discuss entire our branching strategies and all. feature. For example, now the case what exactly I'm talking about here is, for example, these are the developers. Generally, they work on the feature branches. Once they work on the feature branch, obviously, they will try to raise a pull request. They will try to raise a pull request against your main branch. Usually, right? That's a common practice. I'm just considering here as a main branch as the main source. You can consider that one as a release candidate also. That is your wish. But I'm not considering that one for now. Now, what exactly? So developers, for example, developers are done with their code. So when the developers are done with their code, obviously the only thing usually they will be there in their mind is, okay, let's push our code to the repository so that we can close our task. Usually this would be the common mindset, right? This would be the common mindset. So what exactly the thing I'm just placing here is, okay, fine. So developers check in their code to the feature branch, exactly first and foremost thing. Once that is done, obviously what exactly they will do then? Obviously they will try to raise a pull request against the main branch. Okay, that is a common thing which they will do. Okay, all right. So whenever they are raising something, okay, something like that. For example, this is a PR. I'm just raising a PR. Okay, I'm just considering a PR here. Okay, this is a PR. Now, once this particular PR being raised, whoever the person is reviewing that particular branch, so usually the person will be there. Usually that person will review this particular branch. Okay, hey, this guy is really placing a proper logic or not? Is this guy unit test is really working fine or not? Is the logic is correct or not? That is what exactly the verification usually the technical lead, or the technical lead in the company, usually that particular person will do. Now the problem what exactly I'm just discussing here is, but for example, this particular lead really don't have knowledge, especially as part of this particular DevSecops, especially DevSecops. For example, this particular word, a terminology, or what exactly the security as part of the DevOps model, or what exactly the security we need to look into always. If this particular person is not really aware of this particular case team, then definitely it's a big issue for us. Okay, definitely whatever the systems you are deploying to the production, that system can be compromised. There is a possibility for the compromise. So to avoid this case, usually what we need to do, either the particular person should be aware of this particular security skills, especially you don't need to be a security expert or cyber security expert and all, not required, but at least a few areas especially you need to look into. That is where exactly they will usually ask DevOps engineer to take care. But the point is, the DevOps engineer not having enough knowledge on the security, then how he will take care? So what does it mean? His tech lead is asking a DevOps engineer, hey, please be involved in the PR review? No, he's not asking that. But what he's asking is, he's asking the DevOps engineer, please improvise the process. How to improvise the process? That is what we are going to learn now. How to improvise the process. Okay, the first problem here is, the problem statement I'm discussing here is, there is a possibility for the developers to check in their sensitive information, not their own sensitive information. I'm talking about the company point of view. That could be API keys, could be database credentials, or any other sensitive information. For example, if you consider a Spring Boot application, let's consider a Spring Boot application, our Java Spring Boot application. So that is what exactly we are dealing with today, right? So I'm just considering Spring Boot application. Example I'm just telling you. There is a possibility, usually what exactly you're doing. So your Spring Boot application is connected to the database. When the application is connected to the DB, right, there is a possibility where you may expose your credentials, DB credentials, right? DB credentials, especially on the property file. There is a possibility. So this is what exactly you need to take into consideration. There is a possibility. Example I'm just giving for DB credentials, not only DB credentials. For example, if you are using some API management especially in Azure or keywords, so whatever it is, these kind of components, there is some sort of security keys or API keys. That is usually call subscription keys. Even in case of Event Hub also, if you recall our Event Hub with ELK integration, there also I just generated one particular shared access key. These kind of keys usually the developers will straight away define those things in the property field because they don't know where to store. But you know where to store. Where exactly we need to store? we need to store all this sensitive information, the keyword. If you are completely want to use the cloud native solution, obviously you can use the keyword. That is what exactly you can make sure. No, you don't want to keep in the keyword, but you want to keep along with the application. Yes, that in that case, I think the best case would be you can use that one in the Kubernetes secrets. Abhi, that is what exactly we practiced already. We kept already in the secrets. That is what exactly. The problem is some guys, if they don't keep, obviously they will keep in the property file as direct text format. That is absolutely wrong. That is what exactly the problem statement here. If you keep such a credentials, obviously you need to have a way to identify and say like, hey, this particular developer kept some sensitive information. See, this guy is trying to check in sensitive information into the repository. That particular case should be detected and reported. Then only we can go and we can remediate the case. Then how to do that? That is the next question, right? The problem statement we discussed. Now we need to discuss on the solutioning part. So when you go for the solutioning team, how exactly we need to think about. Okay, let's draw the solution for this one. Okay, let's draw the solution. Now how exactly you need to draw the solution here is, for example, okay, this is what exactly we just started discussing, right? I believe you can simply continue the same case. I think you don't need a separate diagram, to be frank. I'm just keeping something here. I'm just continuing this one in a straight line, so that I think I have some space to fill here itself. Okay, that is the exact idea I just have right now. Just a moment. Okay, all right. So now what exactly the point I'm talking about, team? So for example, take this one as a consideration. Okay, so developer is feature one the PR bin branch. Now what exactly I'm telling here is that technically no need to approve the PR. Before approving itself, we are going to keep a condition here. Okay, we are going to keep a condition. What exactly the condition here is? Okay, I'm going to add a build validation logic. Okay, build validation logic. What exactly the build validation logic? So the build validation logic is nothing but team. Build validation logic, nothing bad. So when now the developer is trying to raise a PR, the PR, before PR going to be approved with the tech lead, first it needs to go through a build process. That is what exactly I'm telling. Okay, that is what the PR build validation. Okay, I'm just taking a consideration saying that, okay, I'm just keeping a PR build. Okay, here I'm just keeping build validation. So what exactly the idea here is, okay, whatever the PR, I think whatever the PR our team is raising, right? So along with that, I'm just doing a small activity. You are going to trigger a build validation. Okay, you need to understand a little bit on this case. Okay, how exactly this particular case will be there. I will show you. Don't worry. This build validation will make sure this particular PR has any kind of secret or sensitive information. So for example, what are the build validation is there right now? I'm just going here furtherly. So that is a build validation output. Okay, I'm just talking about the build validation output. See, this build validation is nothing but it's a build pipeline. Indirectly, you are calling a build pipeline. The build validation, whatever you are adding, is calling a build pipeline. Okay, build pipeline. You know what exactly you are going to do in the build pipeline? You are going to add a particular component in the build pipeline. Especially that particular component is nothing but a Gitleaks. You need to understand that one. So what exactly the Gitleaks, how exactly the Gitleaks works, that's also you need to understand. Here in the build pipeline, I'm talking about the build pipeline case. Okay, there is a task called Gitleaks. You know how you will get this particular task done? There is a way. So Azure is already providing an extension to use this particular Gitleaks solution. Okay, what we need to do? We need to install this particular Gitleaks into your Azure Devops repository. Once you install this particular Gitleaks into the Azure Devops repository, obviously you can make use of this one now. Okay, fine. So I will show you how exactly you need to do. But for now, let's understand the concept here. So this is what exactly you need to define your CI/CD. Okay, CI/CD with the Git secret. Now you know what exactly you do. Once your Gitleaks task is being executed. For example, if the Gitleaks is failed, your PR cannot be approved. If the Gitleaks is passed, then tech lead can review your PR technical code. Okay, that is the thing exactly I'm going to tell. Okay, So now, for example, obviously the approval will be the latest stage, okay? Obviously, I'm just giving a case here, so something like saying that I'm just connecting to this particular main branch, so whatever is there. So this is what the PR approval, okay? PR approval. So usually, so whatever the PR been raised, okay, PR will be approved after that particular case. That's what exactly I'm telling. That's what exactly I'm telling. So even I want to disconnect this connection because you're not going anyway straight away. I'm just taking this out. Now the PR being raised, the moment when you PR being raised to this particular, but symbolically I'm just trying to say, okay, you're raising a PR against the main branch. That's what exactly I'm trying to say. For example, I'm just connecting this one, just once you provide the particular piece. Okay, I'm just giving some dots, okay, so that you try to understand, okay, we're raising a PR against the main branch. That's all right. So once Gitleaks evaluated your particular case, okay, obviously you are finally sensing, okay, fine. Oh, my case is success. Gitleaks pass, for example. If Gitleaks pass in the sense build pass or build fail, oh, that is the condition exactly, okay. Build pass, for example. If this build pass, obviously you can go for the approval. That is what exactly you are proceeding. For example, this is what the build pass case now, okay, build pass. So PR approval will happen, obviously PR approval will be done by the tech lead only. I'm not changing that particular case. And finally, you can invoke your actual Azure build pipeline for your deployment case, correct? This is what you can just connect. Obviously, you are connecting the Azure build pipeline, then obviously ACR, obviously release pipeline, obviously a case and app service. So the point you need to think about here is I'm not really touching anything as part of your actual build pipeline or release pipeline. I'm not touching that. That one will be there as it is. I'm not touching that. That one will be there as it is. The only change here is especially the build pipelines and the release pipelines. So the only change is this particular build validation logic. This is what exactly you have added. This is exactly the idea and the solution in which I'm providing right now, so that you can use this technique exactly to implement the DevSecops tool. DevSecops tool, especially first one is Gitleaks, okay, Gitleaks. So that is the thing first you are trying to implement. So that is exactly the solution you need to think about now. If you think about this particular solution, this is what exactly needed from you to just make sure, I think, you can use the same thing in your real time as well. This is what exactly the thing. Even the point advantage for you is, I think, the most of the companies are not even mature. 90% of the companies are not even mature for the DevSecops to handle the DevSecops cases. Okay, but I think which we are already exploring. We are trying to give our best. That is the reason usually we already started exploring these cases. That's why we come across these particular tools which are completely open source. You don't need to pay anything as part of this particular thing. But of course, in case of the SonarQube, we are unable to find the best case. That is why we are using the SonarQube. But that too, in SonarQube, there is a developer edition that is like a yearly some $150 US dollar. I think you can recommend that one to your company. But now let's focus on the Gitleaks. This is what exactly the thing you need to implement. That's it.